Good morning. So I'm coming to you today because, okay, first of all, we're not supposed to gossip. Don't be gossiping, okay? Don't gossip. Sometimes we use different people's circumstances um, to help us, right? But we shouldn't thrive off of, especially marriage and failures in marriage and be all, oh, this happened, that happened, this one, that one. We don't always truly know, but I'm going to tell you about a couple of couples. You can say it's gossip, but um, I read it. Is it truth? Well, and this man, he was told not to do something, and he did it, and he blamed his wife. Why did he blame his wife? Because he probably didn't know what else to do, because she took part of it. She asked him, and he said okay, instead of saying no, we're not supposed to do that. He didn't do that. He didn't protect himself and his wife from whatever they weren't supposed to do, and they did it. And so then there were consequences. But see, the point is, then when he was asked about what he did, he blamed the wife. And we're like, as wives, we're there to do good and support our husbands, but sometimes we might think about things to do that don't line up with for the family values or what we're trying to accomplish. So the husband should stand up and say, no, I don't think that's wise. I don't think, if we look at this and that, that's not wise. So he didn't do that. Instead, he blamed the wife, and then he turns around and he blames God for giving him this wife, when we know that when you have a wife, you have what is good. But so if you look at the Jesus Christ Prescription for Life podcast in marriage, we've been covering these things. But you know what? I want to tell you about another couple then. So again, beginning of time, and I have a blog that explain that too. Husbands have been blaming wives, right? But I want to go back, and I want to look too in another example, and I'm not gossiping, okay, of this man and lady, and he was promised to have many, many children, be father of many nations, and all this and that, right? And the lady was getting old, the wife, so they were going to have children. So she takes things into her own hands, and they were pretty wealthy, and she had maids. And what does she do? She gives one of the maids to the husband and says, here, basically, like a surrogate. So today we could say they're surrogate moms, right? Or surrogate women. But they don't usually sleep with the man. And so anyway, he ends up impregnating her, and now she was quite a bit younger. She was younger. And why did the man go no? Again, why didn't he stand up and say, no, honey, that's not right? Nope. He sleeps with her, right? So, and he impregnates her. But then the girl that gets pregnant, then she gets attitude. Well, actually, at that point, I don't even know if she had attitude yet, or even knew that she definitely was pregnant. But then there was rift between the two, the wife and the maid. Of course, of course. And so the husband's like, well, do what you want, send her, do what you want. But anyway, because she was mean, the girl takes off, but then she's told, go back. And who told her? Well, they said there was, angels and people around her, and or an angel came to her, actually. But and some of you may not believe in angels, some might believe in Jesus, maybe don't believe in God. I don't know. But then things happened. So what happened? Then the wife, here we go on the part where the wife blamed the husband and said, well, you impregnated her. Well, duh, you gave her to him for that purpose. What did you think was going to happen? And she was young, so she's probably very fertile. I don't know. But anyway, so there they go, right? And so now what's that? Well, she wasn't patient and waited. Well, then she, at a certain age, come on, women, we can't have children after their cycle's all done, whatever. But he was promised something by an almighty God. He was promised, and was told him, when there's times in your heart, God's told you something and he's promised you something. You know it without a doubt. And you can look in his word, you can look here and there, and you in your prayer time, and he spoke to you, and you speak to God. And then what happens? So without these are going to happen, but you rush it, you try to take things in your hands. That's another lesson. And in marriage, marriage takes time to just on a relationship to really work on it. But anyway, so that was the first couple was named Adam and Eve. The second couple was Rebecca, or no, I'm sorry, was Isaac and you know what? I'm sorry. Do you care about the names? Anyway, do you care about their names? If you do, you know what? Go look it up in Genesis, the first 28 chapters, and oh my gosh, the stuff you'll learn. And then there's one more I want to tell you about. Oh, that was Rebecca and Isaac. This mother deceived her husband, told her son to go in and deceive the father. And the father ended up giving the younger one the blessing that was supposed to be for the oldest one. And sometimes, I don't know, a lot of today's family, in very wealthy families, they give according to, I guess, on how good they thought their child was, or you're not going to leave normally. A lot of times you're not going to leave a lot of your money and things to a drug addict. You have a child that has a problem. You don't want any of that money going to them because you don't want them to destroy themselves even further through that. But then you also there's some that have good jobs, this or that, and some just equally split it up, or some say no, that one never called me, never talked to me, whatever. I don't know. And we'll get to the Jesus Arc's Prescription for Life podcast on children later on. There's a lot of good things there. But so this marriage one, so the wife, who wants to be married to a wife or a husband that's such a deceiver? But the man, the child was not a child like we say. It was always your children. But that was a grown man. He went in and he didn't tell his mom, no, mom, I'm not going to do that. And there were repercussions to that later. But the point is, why, what kind of marriage is that? You're doing all this with the children and, deceiving your spouse and grabbing this one child and always doing stuff with them, not it. And I'm just saying, it's not marriage, a healthy marriage. It's not a healthy marriage. So these people, things were messed up, and we see that, and thank God we have a loving God. Because if we keep reading in these stories, there were lessons, and their lessons, take them to heart, man. Take them to heart, learn them, because I don't want to make mistakes in my marriage. I've been married since 1989. But what I'm telling you is, these were real people. They have real problems. And there's real people out there with real problems. But there's a real God. He's a living God. And he cares. And that's why he sent Jesus. It sits at his right hand, that thank God he's praying for me right now. He's praying for you right now, the right hand of God. And if you don't know him, you should know him, because, man, it's a joy. So I just want to leave you with that. And just remember, marriage is a beautiful thing. Jesus Arc's Prescription for Life podcast. And I really am trying to keep healthy mind, body, and spirit. And I can help you do that too. And whatever it is that you're imbalanced on, we can work together on that. And I'm praying for your marriage if you're married. If you're not married and you're looking to be married, I'm praying that you find that one. Okay, enjoy.